Welcome to another episode of Enginuity. In this episode, David Coulthard takes us around his new DTM Coupe. We look at the DHL award for the fastest Formula One lap. Michael Schumacher gets us up to speed with the latest F1 steering wheel. And day 3 and 4 of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. But first, the new Mazda CX-5 compact crossover SUV has been placed on the Ward's Auto World's 10 Best Interiors list. All new or significantly changed production vehicles are eligible for review by the editors of Ward's Auto. Interiors are rated based on material selection, ergonomics, driver information, safety, overall value, touch points and comfort, fit and finish, as well as aesthetics and design harmony. There is no price cap for vehicle entries. The 2013 CX-5 Grand Touring was entered this year. It's a relative newcomer to the compact crossover SUV segment, and thanks to Mazda's SkyActiv 1 technology, the brand's engineering philosophy on fuel-saving technologies, it boasts the best highway fuel economy of any SUV sold in North America, including hybrids, with 35 miles per gallon.
You have these customers.
Hello.
They use smartphones more than you could ever imagine. They're using them on their dashboards unsafely, digging through their purses and whatnot to call somebody that they know. Here's what we're doing. We're putting it where they want in a safe, simple manner. And over 90% of the Sonic and Spark owners have smartphones already. So what we did was make the radio almost an extension of the smartphone, so that all of the memory and the map data and the songs and the phone contacts remain on the smartphone. I like to think of it as a smartphone dumb radio. And so all it's really doing is just displaying what you already have right there in front of you, safely and easily. If you're connected by Bluetooth, you just get in once you're paired, and then as you start driving down the road, if you get an incoming call, it'll automatically pop up. And just hit accept.
Hey, you.
Hey, how you doing?
Your contact lists are all instantly transferred, so you can scroll through and dial whoever you want to talk to. You can also access your call history. So all of the phone numbers, recently missed calls, outgoing calls, all of that can be easily accessed with a simple touch of the screen. People nowadays, they don't write phone numbers down anymore. What they do is they scroll through their history on their phone. And if there's a number that they don't have written down, they just scroll and select it. There you go. We have a brand new app that we're putting in this radio. It's called GoGo Link. The GoGo Link Nav app brings all of the maps that you've downloaded onto your smartphone onto the screen, so you can safely navigate where you want to go. An embedded nav system where all of the maps are actually on the radio are at least $1,000 on most vehicles. With the Sonic and Spark customers, we were very, very conscious of cost. It's under $50. You don't have to worry necessarily about data connections or roaming fees or whatnot. By adding this app to your smartphone, you will, in a sense, turn that into a little mini nav system that you're going to display. While you're in park, you can watch movies that you've downloaded to your USB. You can also view a slideshow of pictures with your favorite music playing in the background. Imagine you have your daughter, right? And you're waiting for her to get out of practice. She said, I'll be there in 2 minutes. And it's like 20 minutes later, you could be sitting in park watching the movies the entire time. It's just a fun little extra that we're giving to our Sonic and Spark customers. If you had a way to offer your customers the connectivity that they're looking for with their smartphones in a safe manner, why wouldn't you?
Next, the Mercedes DTM Coupe.
Hi, I'm David Coulthard. I'm one of the drivers for Mercedes-Benz in DTM. Behind me, I have two examples of DTM car. This is the old generation, and on my left, the new shiny 2012 DTM car. There's a number of changes which make this a more sophisticated and technical car, and we're going to take a look at those now. So if we start here with the most significant change visually, we've got the old spec tyre here and the new spec tyre. The new tyre is 2 inches wider. Inevitably, when you have more surface area, you're going to have more weight. It's also 10% heavier. So that actually is going to be quite a challenge for the mechanics during the pit stop. I'm glad that I'm driving the car rather than having to lift that on. As we move along the car, you can see that the wheel arches are obviously flared a lot more to accommodate that much wider tyre. So visually, that should stand out for the spectators. We have something here quite familiar. It's a wheel. Obviously not a wheel that goes in the corner, it's a steering wheel. And new for this year, we have the semi-automatic gearbox. Very simple. Right paddle for up, left paddle for down, and then the normal array of buttons that are needed in DTM. So speed control and neutral and the likes. This car is a coupe, so it's a two-door versus the old configuration of DTM, which was four-door. Not so good for taking passengers, but very good for the racetrack. And then moving along to the rear of the car, what we have is one of the standardized parts that's in DTM. In the interest of controlling costs, we have a single element, larger rear wing with a huge gurney here. This is what we call the gurney on the back of the car. That looks to me about a 30mm gurney. And when you compare that to the old specification of car over there, you can see it was a much smaller multi-element wing. So overall, it's designed to promote closer racing, more cost-effective racing, and as long as Mercedes win, we don't care. So DTM is all about safety first, and what we have here is a crash structure which is actually bolted on the front of the car around here. So the gap in the middle will be filled with a V8 4-litre engine producing about 500 horsepower, so you have your nice Mercedes-Benz power there. Keeping in the theme of safety, what we have here is a removable crash structure. That gets bolted on there, so any side impact will be absorbed by that, and of course it can be replaced afterward. Now, this is the actual chassis, and this is new for this year, so it's a complete carbon fibre tub. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step in, and I'm going to position myself where I'll be sitting. Obviously it's not really that stable at the moment because it's missing a few bits, but this is the position I'll be sitting in when I drive the car. So you can see that the driver has a full carbon fibre safety cell around about him. Fuel cell is inside this area here, so no refueling during 2012. And this makes this the safest form of touring car racing without question. So 2012 promises to promote closer racing, safer racing, and all in all a collaboration between the three marques, Mercedes-Benz, BMW and Audi.
To win the race is the most important thing. To be the fastest, the ultimate kick. But who's going to claim the honor of doing the fastest lap at a Formula One Grand Prix?
In F1, it's all about speed, teamwork and precision. And setting the fastest lap is a goal that drivers strive to achieve. The feeling of driving the ideal line with brilliant handling at perfect pace. The legendary Nino Farina was the first ever man to set a fastest lap in modern Formula One history in 1950. Michael Schumacher, he was the most successful man setting fastest laps all the way through his career. It was 76 times that he scored fastest lap. In one season, however, there was Kimi Räikkönen, who achieved 10 fastest laps in one Grand Prix season.
The Iceman, world champion and two-time winner of the DHL Fastest Lap Trophy. Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel, also great champions who've won this prestigious award, sponsored by Formula One's official logistics partner since 2007.
Well, as you know, speed is one of the big attributes of using DHL, and we thought that speed and consistency is something that represents the DHL brand name. So finding the driver who over a whole season consistently got the #1 fastest time the most should get something a little bit special. just like using DHL.
When the F1 teams arrive at the circuit, everything's already set up, so the drivers can focus on the competition on the track, like Mark Webber.
Well, obviously the fastest lap is a little bit of the icing on the cake, like you say. So yeah, I got a few last year. It was some challenging Grand Prix. It's always nice to race as hard as you can on Sunday afternoons, and if you do the fastest lap at some stage, then it's a bonus.
Sometimes you push it to get it just for fun, but sometimes you're not able to get it because you don't have the tools to do it.
But Sebastian Vettel does even when they're not needed. India 2011. Despite already leading the field, he pushed hard to improve his lap time to do the fastest lap. His bosses were not amused.
Vettel in India pushing for the fastest lap even when his win was already safe. You don't push your car to the limit when it's not necessary. But Sebastian just didn't care about team orders or strategy. For me, that's kind of true racing. That's the true racing spirit.
Racing on the track. This season, with new rules introduced by the FIA, a driver's now only allowed to move offline once to keep a chasing car at bay. Thereafter, he has to hold the line.
I think you should always respect whoever you're racing against, and you make sure you give him enough room if you're racing him.
Fast but fair, sensing the right moment, being confident in the performance of the car. It's an exciting competition between the best drivers in Formula One, the DHL Fastest Lap Award.
Coming up, the Formula One steering wheel. Now Michael Schumacher gets us up to speed with the latest F1 steering wheel.
As you can see, it looks pretty colorful and it's pretty intense in terms of the function you have. Most important function is physically right and left side, depending on what way you look at it, and it is to keep it and go for it. Well, you have the boost button afterwards for the curse that allows you to sort of release 80 horsepower for 10 seconds a lap that you find out yourself. You have the neutral button coming into the pit lane. You have the speed lane button in order to not overshoot the speed and get a penalty. You have 3 menu buttons up there. Before you go to further menu buttons over here. Afterwards you go on the mixture and torque button. Those are 2 engine buttons that you can set the changes that you want to have and you discuss up front. Radio button, a start button, you have a pit confirm button in case you want to come into the pit lane unexpected. You press that and the guys know immediately something is wrong, he will come. Safety car and a reset. Reset in order some malfunction, you can reset the steering wheel. You have a reverse button that you hope not to use, but occasionally you may have to, and it's an obligation to have a reverse even to be functional. Brake balance check, clutch check, and now we come to the center rotaries again, and the yellow one is for the clutch as well. Before you go to the diameter of tires that you have available, you have 3 different tires, they have 3 different diameters and you can pre-select. The main menu button and 2 differential buttons, plus obviously your shift and your clutch that you have too.
The amazing Rub al Khali Desert, dry, hostile, magically alive. This enchanted land has been invaded this week by the technology and the downright lunacy of the 2012 Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. The support teams here know no respite, even in the hours of darkness.
We've got a couple of bikes, but not enough mechanics.
Yesterday morning, we wake up early around 5 in the morning. What time is is it now, dude? 1 o'clock.
For the hard-pressed mechanics, it's the only available slot between stages to rebuild and repair.
Don't get much sleep at all. Sadly, you can only work at night time.
When they do finally get some sleep, their dreams are probably haunted by desert, dunes, and damage to their precious machines. The race went according to the form book, with Schlesser and Al-Mutawi first and second in the improved off-road cars list, and Coma first among the motorbikes. Day 3 and even more dune riding, with the racers hurtling across the plateau, then turning due east towards the finish line. A spectacular day among the dunes. Car 209 driver is Ilya Kuznetsov in the BMW X3. He has been competing in rally raids since 2002. He's the 2011 FIA World Cup holder in the T2 group. Winner of the Tunisia Rally 2011, Fairoz Rally 2011, Morocco Rally 2010. Has crossed the Dakar finish line twice, 2007 Russian Championship bronze medal winner, and class winner of Silkway Rally 2011. Number 15 is Paolo Cecchi. He impressed many by finishing best rider on a 450cc on his first Dakar rally in 2010. On bike number 5, Manuel Lucchesi was born in 1988, started racing motocross aged 6. Still only 23, he is racing for Husaberg in the World Rallies Championship. Together with his sporting career, he also writes as journalist and bike tester for an Enduro magazine and also studies business and management. First across the line was Mark Coma, but he actually lost time with respect to those behind him who could follow his line, so he slips to 11th. Helder Rodriguez paid tribute to Coma's work rate.
Today it was very difficult to choose the right line and ride at high speed. Mark led for almost the whole stage, and towards the end he launched a final attack which worked for him and gave him a small lead. We all know that on days when you start at the front you have to open the trail. There's little visibility and you lose time. That's what happened. I'll try to regain time tomorrow and ride well through to the end.
And coming up to the PC, we turned around and we had the wind at our back. And when you have the wind at your back, the bikes run hot, you run hot. Everything just seems to become a lot more difficult. And then the light was funny as well. We got into this white sand, so you couldn't see the horizon. And then you start getting a bit nauseous. And then
First across the line was Khalifa Al-Mutawi in the desert's fastest Mini, despite a near-side rear flat. Second, Jean-Louis Schlesser came in 7 minutes 46 seconds later, and the intense heat was the main enemy for all the contenders, apart from each other, of course.
We stop for 2 times for the tire, and this is the 3rd time. But we are doing well. We passed Lisher from the first BC, and we are here. He's still not here. So hope good luck for us to come and lead the race again today. Yeah, it was great, great race, but it's really hot on the car. So we lost all the water in the car.
Coming up, day 4, guaranteed drama. Welcome to the stunning Rub Al Khali Desert for the 4th day of the 2012 Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Yesterday evening, the teams reached one of the world's great hotels, the luxurious Qasr Al Sarrab, hidden in the sand after an eventful day's racing. This is what day 4 holds in store. One long stage, the first part over some of the highest of the Rub Al Khali dunes, the second across the soft white sand of the northeastern desert. A long
than 50 kilometres is very long for a special stage in these conditions. I started in a good position some way back and it helped me regain some time. Third day of racing, I think I'm where I want to be, and there are 2 big days ahead. We'll see how it finishes. I think it's the hardest stage I've ever ridden. Very hard. I think Mark won today and he'll take the overall lead because he started well back and caught us. But I rode fast, pushing all the stage, and I'm very happy.
A hard day for Paulo Gonçalves, involved in a collision with another rider.
I jumped the dune, landed on top of his bike and went over the top. I smashed my navigation instruments and had blood all over my visor. I hurt my wrist and it made the rest of the day very hard.
The first of the T1 entrants, the improved off-road four-wheeled vehicles, approaches the finish line. And it's the Mini of Khalifa Al Moutawi.
Yeah, I'm surprised really to drive like before, and I'm happy to come back to the races. The heats reach around 70 or 65 on the car, so it's really end of the rally. You miss 9 kilos from your weight.
Jean-Louis Schlesser is enjoying the battle with Al Moutawi, or so he says.
It's good because it makes the race interesting with just a few minutes between us. Who's going to win? The desert.
Well, that's it for this episode. Bye for now.